Hi everybody, I'm going to try and make this vlog as fast as possible. I apologize if I talk quickly. I may well because there is a bit to cover. I decided that I needed some kind of structure. So you'll see the structure today and I will kind of go over it, and in the following weeks I may not go over it so much. Okay, I am 5 weeks today and I'm going over week 4. And baby went from the size of a poppy seed to the size of a tomato seed to the size of a red lentil, which hopefully I will get a picture of with my belly shots. There are no due date changes so far. I haven't had my ultrasound, so no due date changes at this point. I don't think it'll change much, if at all. My due date is May 17th, 2016. I'm breaking this up into 3 sections: emotional, physical, and TMI. Now, disclaimer, I don't really believe in TMI. I mean, you're watching a pregnancy vlog, but I'll separate it out for you all anyway, and you can skip it if you don't want to see that part. Emotional week. Let's talk a little bit about week 3 and 4 because it all kind of ties in. Right before I found out that the test was positive, we found out that my dog is really sick. So 3 weeks, 4 days, we found out that it was cancer and that we may well only have 1 or 2 months left with him. So then we got scheduled to see an oncologist when I was exactly 4 weeks. And the oncologist that we saw suggested doing a splenectomy and biopsying the liver, but that would make him feel crappy for about 10 days. And if it is the worst case scenario, like it looks like, that's not really fair. We didn't feel like that was really fair to put him through a major surgery and have him feel crappy. Then we're looking at he still has half a month to a month and a half left. So we decided to get a second opinion. We liked their opinion better. So that appointment was 4 weeks, 3 days. And it was just really hard. And then since last week, he has been either not wanting to eat, and we've put him on Pepcid AC to help him not be nauseous. And then there's been times where he's been throwing up food and he's lost weight. So between finding out that everything was positive, finding out that the dog has cancer, other stuff going on, it has been a super emotionally up and down week. So let's talk physically. Physically, it's been really strange. I have never been a tummy sleeper, but suddenly I want to sleep on my tummy. That's the easiest way for me to fall asleep. I have noticed that if I lay down on my side, I have to kind of bend my leg at my hip and my knee, so bend it kind of up close to me. Otherwise, I'll get a little bit more crampy than I'm comfortable with. I know I'm not going to be able to be a stomach sleeper for very long, but it's been really weird that that's been the way I've been wanting to sleep. Physically, what else? I have been crampy here and there, light and off and on, nothing consistent, nothing heavy, so I'm not too worried about crampiness. I had one point where I was a little bit unsettled tummy-wise, but no real nausea. Last Friday, I did eat a hard-boiled egg, and I think it was just too hard-boiled, and the texture of it really got to me, and I wanted it out of me. I wanted it out now. And I didn't end up throwing up, but that was like a big mistake. And I've had eggs since, and it's been fine, so I don't know what was going on there. I have been drinking a ton of water, so I don't know if it's that or if it is me being pregnant, but I have been needing to go to the bathroom quite a bit, but I also drink about 100 to 120 ounces of water a day. Hunger. I have been very hungry. I went from intermittently hungry in the end of 3 weeks / very beginning of 4, and that changed to frequently hungry, and then that changed to fairly consistently hungry, and I had to start carrying snacks around with me because I was getting I get very, very hangry. I get very cranky when I'm hungry. And so I started carrying around snacks, which I'll talk a little bit about later in the vlog. Oh, there was one point where we had some cake in the house, and I decided, why not? I'll just have a little piece of cake. And I cut myself a piece and I started eating it. I took 2 bites and I was just done. It wasn't bad. It didn't taste bad. It wasn't making me feel sick. I was done. And that's so weird for me. And there was another day that I was super hungry. I needed to eat lunch. I stopped and got a burrito from Taco Bell. Now, just a plain burrito. I don't eat meat, so it was just beans and cheese. And even that, I was just kind of like, I would probably be fine without this. I feel like my uterus has been very heavy still. I can just kind of feel it sitting there. And that's about it physically. I have been pretty tired, but nothing super crazy bad at this point. Just kind of yawning more. Other than that, no real physical symptoms. So let's go TMI. This is the TMI section. Sign off if you don't, or skip this part if you don't want to hear about TMI stuff. So a lot of women on here say that one of the big first signs is that they have a crazy amount of CM. I don't. I think today is really the first time where I felt like there was something going on. I might need to go to the bathroom to check that I wasn't starting a miscarriage. And it wasn't even that bad. So I don't have much of that going on. I have had some diarrhea bouts, nothing super terrible, but I couldn't decide whether that was from progesterone or whether that was from just regular symptoms. Because, and here's the real TMI on this vlog, my doctor had told me that the particular progesterone that I had been on irritating to the cervix, and a lot of women will spot with this brand. She suggested that I take it rectally. So I did, and then I was having diarrhea, and then I ended up having a different brand of progesterone thanks to Joanne by Hatched by Two Chicks, which thank you so much. I so owe you. It's been a blessing to have that. And since then it has stopped. I had one more bout of diarrhea without that. And that was kind of it. So there's that. And then probably at implantation, right after implantation, right before I found out, my boobs hurt and my nipples hurt really bad. And that was probably 2 days. And then really nothing since. They've been a little bit puffy. Every once in a while my nipples twinge a bit, but that's about it. So that's kind of weird. I totally expected them to balloon up like crazy, like most people do. And so at this point I feel like I'm a ticking time bomb in that department. We talked about my phone appointment. It was at exactly 4 weeks. We talked about my numbers, 26 at 11 DPO to 125 at 14 DPO, and then I had one more beta so far, and it was 364 at 16 DPO. So numbers are rising really well. We talked about if I wanted to do any more betas, so they are in the computer. So if I freak out and want to have a beta, I can do that. We asked about any questions. I didn't really have any questions except about exercising. So she's having me hold off until we see a heartbeat. And then I made sure that my ultrasound was scheduled okay, because they prefer it to be closer to 8 weeks, whereas I'm going to be closer. I'm going to be like mid 6 weeks. I'm going to actually be 6 weeks, 2 days. So I wanted to make sure that was okay. And she said that was okay. She would rather have me come in a little bit earlier and be at ease than wait a little bit longer. So I'm going to do that. Pregnancy books. This is a book that got recommended to me by Megan. I will try to remember to link her channel below. I am adoring this book. So the first section is just general information, what to eat, why to eat it, that kind of thing. And I'm currently about halfway through that. And then the second part of the book is weekly information or monthly information. So I'm really enjoying that. And I have found that I really like everything in there. It's been really interesting, and I am actually learning things, even though I'm one of those people that has just been here so long that I know too much. 2 weekly favorites. So these are the prenatals I'm taking. They are New Chapter Perfect Prenatal. You take 3 of these a day. They're not super big. They do kind of stink, but they're not super big. They're pretty small. And then these are the omegas I take. The Life DHA Omega 3. These are vegetarian. I find that fish brand omega 3s really, I get fish burps all day and it's disgusting, and I'm vegetarian. So I take 2 of these a day, making 1,000 milligrams of DHA, and that's what's actually suggested in that book, especially for vegetarians, because we don't particularly get enough DHA. I think that's really harder to get in a plant-based diet. That being said, let's talk about food favorites. I mentioned that I'm having to carry snacks. So I have been carrying a lot of either fruits and vegetables, or I do have some prepackaged snacks. I did get some like goldfish, the natural goldfish. So they aren't too high in sugars, but I've been trying to stay a little bit away from those because I don't want to have too many carbs, because I don't want to get gestational diabetes. I have also been carrying around these. These are super easy. I try not to grab these first. I try to go like to Whole Foods and just get plain nuts and put them in a Kids Conserve mini tin. It's about a fistful. I have also been carrying around Jolly Ranchers, not because of any sickness, but mostly for hunger. I have noticed that if I suck on one, if I'm getting hungry but I'm not quite ready to eat, that it will hold me over. Or if I'm really hungry but just ate and I want to see if it's gonna pass, then I'll suck on one of those. The next 2 things have been snack tins that are favorites. These. So I went to Target and I wanted to get a couple of containers that I knew I could cut up apples and put some peanut butter, or do like carrots and ranch or something along those lines. So I was looking for separated containers, but they didn't really have that. So I got some of these. They're just the Snapware. This part's glass, and that's been good. It fits about half an apple, half a peach, that kind of thing. And then I found these. These are Fuel by Trudeau brand. And inside, this is exactly what I was looking for. I was hoping I would get it just a little bit bigger and stainless steel or glass, but this is the BPA phthalate-free plastic. So I'm kind of dealing right now if I can find anything, or if you have suggestions, please let me know. So I have done carrots with ranch, which this will fit 1 whole cut up carrot. I've done half an apple with some peanut butter. I have done pita chips with avocado mashed up, and then it has a separated chop so it doesn't leak between one and the other. And then this part has a spreader that comes on. Something kind of funny happened. I kind of freaked out on Sunday because I woke up without symptoms, and so I took a test, or the test line is darker than the control line, and it's like stealing dye from the control. Now I will put in pictures, belly shots, and the way I'm going to do it is I'm going to give you last week's belly shot, and at some point I will try to put them side by side with last week's belly shot and this week's belly shot, and you can see the comparison, but that might be too much editing for me. So you'll at least get to see last week, and I will put in weight and measurements and all of that. So thanks for watching. Sorry it's so long, but that is week 5. If you have any questions, please feel free to list them below and I will answer them next week. Bye.